Welcome, everybody, to a new chapter of the Manga Melee podcast. I'm your host, Jay, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Twitterless Parf. Parf, how are you doing this week?
Dude, that gets me every time when you call me beautiful. It gets me every time.
I'm glad.
I'm doing great, It's a big week. Massive week, one could say. Massive couple weeks, I would say, actually.
Yeah, definitely a lot of news happened.
Yeah.
Both in the this week and the week that we were off as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so before we, start covering all that news, let me ask you, Parf.
Yeah.
What did you do this week? How was your week?
I wish I could say I did something productive, but all I really did was, I found an apartment. That's great.
Nice.
And then I, finished Breaking Bad, and now I watched El Camino, and now I'm watching Better Call Saul. So
Nice.
nothing really productive. Oh, and I fed a stray cat, so I think that's the big one.
Nice. I think I'm probably about to start Better Call Saul myself. Actually,
It's pretty good.
I've been looking for a new series to watch. I started watching a series called The Staircase on HBO. It's about it's like this true crime about this woman who it's Colin Firth and Toni Collette.
Ooh, okay. I like that cast.
Yeah, really, and Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones as well.
Yep.
It's got a really all-star cast, but basically it's about this woman who falls down some stairs and dies, and they're wondering if her husband murdered her or not.
Ooh,
and
okay.
Dude, whenever I say, so I've never had a reaction to blood or anything like that in my life. The scene with Toni Collette falling down the stairs, whenever they simulate it and they show her dying and stuff, it was so brutal that my blood pressure dropped.
Jesus.
And I passed out when I watched it. So that was scary, but I'm okay. But it was crazy because I've literally I've never had any sort of reaction like that in my entire life in media. So honestly, shout out to Toni Collette because that was an insane level of acting to be able to trick my brain into thinking it was real, basically. Yeah. So that was fun. And honestly, for me, mostly just worked. Been reading a bit more manga, I'm trying to read more shoujo and josei this year. I think that's going to be my goal, especially. I'm about to start Seven Seed. Probably going to start Don't Call It Mystery as well by the same author.
Yep.
Or Don't Say Mystery, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, really excited to dig more into that. Get into reading some of the larger shoujo magazines because I feel like that is a genre that just has a lot of potential for growth.
I agree.
Yeah, I heard that certain shoujo series like Fruits Basket and stuff are actually sort of overperforming because there's so little growth in the space as far as things being pushed anyway. And not to disparage Fruits Basket or anything. I've been watching it and enjoying it. It's just it would be cool if there was other series that were getting pushed like Fruits Basket is getting pushed nowadays with its remade anime and such. So I don't know. Maybe with Don't Say Mystery being as popular as it is, we'll see that sort of start to leak into the American anime culture.
Yeah.
Because I really haven't seen
hope so.
I definitely haven't. There's a few shoujo that are somewhat popular among the our sort of demographic, but honestly, it's definitely not an even amount compared to say women who like shonen and seinen.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
The mangaka behind Seven Seeds and Do Not Say Mystery is Yumi Tamura, by the way, for those of you who are curious. Would highly recommend pretty much any of her works. It's her art is really incredible, and she does these completely different genre manga at the same time. Like she'll have like that's how she says she keeps her like writing sharp is by doing different genres being serialized at the same time, which is kind of crazy. There's not
No,
a
that's
lot
insane.
of there's really not a lot of mangaka I can think of off the top of my head that do two shonen battle manga at the same time, let alone doing like a shonen and a slice of life
Yeah.
and or a battle manga and a slice of life and yeah. So I definitely need to look into that more, and
Hmm.
I think that is 100% my goal. Have you bought any good manga lately?
Not since we last talked. No, I actually got really badly burned over Memorial Weekend. Sunburnt.
Dang.
Well, it wasn't bad until I was an idiot and I didn't cover up on the drive home. It was a 3 hour drive home.
Rookie
Sun was
mistake.
right out. And like I left the sunroof open, put my arm out the window, and that just really worsened it. And I'm still recovering kind of.
Jeez, dude.
Like I mean like I feel fine, just like my arms are still covered in blister scabs.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah. Oh, I look terrible, and I don't want to show my face in public.
Is it just like all on one side because it was?
It was originally just all on my left side, and then it developed on my right side, and my skin looks awful. Don't want to go in public, so no, I have not bought any manga.
Yeah. So, pro tip from the Manga Melee podcast: always
Sunscreen.
wear sunscreen,
Sunscreen.
even whenever you think you might not need it. And also go try to find a reef safe sunscreen because you'd be surprised how terrible a lot of sunscreen is.
Now
for the
that is a
environment.
good tip. And we were told. I was told we had sunscreen in my defense.
No, I get you. I have a brand of reef safe sunscreen I've been using. I'll post it on like the Twitter page or something whenever I go and find it. I got the first
I was gonna ask what you
three
got.
volume. Yeah, I got the first 3 volumes
God,
of Paul
that's just-
tonight.
I envy you. I have not
Yeah,
been able to go to the store in a while. I want to get that Dead Mount Death Play. I can never find whatever it's called. I always suck with that name. I can
Yeah.
never find Volume 1. And I just
Yeah.
want Volume 1. And then the Death Note short stories I've been trying to find.
I wanted to get. I really regret. They had all of the volumes of Boys Run the Riot as well. I really
You should have.
should have gotten that, but
Dude, you gotta pull the trigger sometimes.
I just didn't feel like spending any more.
I did that with Rosario
Pretty sure.
Vampire. They had all the volumes of season 1, and I did it, and then literally, I think maybe a month later, I was like, I'm just gonna buy the box set.
Yeah, I think maybe next time I get paid, I'll try and maybe trade some of my
Yeah.
extra volumes that I have that I'm not reading anymore. Like I'm not really collecting any Chainsaw Man in English anymore. I thought long and hard about it. I just don't like the way that it's nitpicky. I don't like the way the logo looks. If I can find it in like Japanese or something or German, I'll probably grab it
Ooh,
just to look at it.
I have
but
never
like,
thought about that, getting the manga in German. I've considered doing Spanish, because I can read Spanish pretty well. But
Like-
German? I didn't think about that. Where would you order that from?
not great.
No, it's not at all.
Like not great audio content here, but
It's
if
terrible.
I'm holding up a Chainsaw Man volume, specifically volume 5, and you can see the font is designed to look like a chainsaw in case you weren't aware that this manga maybe had to do with chainsaws, even
I
though
would never guessed.
he's got 3 of them in every picture at least. Whereas in the Japanese and other languages, it's just this really solid like kind of block font that goes like across both vertically and then horizontally and then vertically across the border, and I just think it looks a little bit better. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to trade some of my Chainsaw Man volumes off, and then some of the extra JJK volumes I have as well.
You can buy it. Wow.
Yeah,
You can just
it's
get it on
pretty easy,
Amazon.
especially because like the quality of European manga is
it's insane.
vastly superior. France is like the second biggest market for manga. And it
One Piece
shows.
big is One Piece big. One Piece is big there. uh, I one of my mutuals on TikTok. I hate saying that, but yeah, he got the Steel Ball Run Spanish editions, and they just look amazing. It's
Yeah,
also insane
Spanish
that
and
Spain
Italian.
has them.
Spanish and Italian have crazy special editions.
Like we've been robbed that Spain gets a Steel Ball Run and we don't have it yet. But yeah,
I've definitely considered learning
yeah.
like French or Italian or Spanish just so I can get manga products. I know it's kind of similar to people who say, I want to learn Japanese just so I can enjoy anime with their subtitles. But like, I
It's
don't know,
a little
man.
less. It's just a little less weeby, I guess. I'm doing it so I'm learning a different language so I could read manga, but I'm not learning the original language.
I feel like learning Spanish has a
Oh,
bit
it has a
more
lot
real world
of
application.
yeah.
Yeah, and being where I'm from, learning French, it would be
Oh,
a good
yeah,
way to
that would
connect
be
with
good
like my
too.
roots and stuff too, I guess. But yeah, I've been using this new Discord server, and I need to hop on the actual website called Takara Cafe. It's
What's
this
ooh,
indie owned, like independently owned manga
Takara
website that has
Cafe? How do you spell that?
yeah, Takara Cafe. It's like a manga website that has really good prices on pretty much any series you could think of. It's all run by like one guy.
I
If
see
you
it.
join the
Yeah.
Patreon, you get access to the clearance pretty early and stuff. And then the Discord itself is full of people who love collecting and trading manga and figures and stuff like that. So if you're ever like whenever I posted my haul of Call of the Night, there was somebody who was offering to give me a really good price on the other volumes if I wanted them because they were trying to make room on their shelf for new manga. So definitely recommend that. Look them up on Twitter. Again, it's Takara Cafe on Twitter and on just googling it for the actual website. With yeah, just support an independently
Yeah.
run business instead of like going to Barnes and Noble or something like that. Honestly, you know. So yeah, I think that's what my plans as far as manga collecting for the future are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's I guess we can go ahead and hop into the
Yeah.
news then. So first off, we got some pretty interesting print circulation records for the three main weekly shonen the three main weekly shonen magazines. So, Shonen Jump, our classic weekly magazine, is currently publishing around 1.3 million copies this year. So that's pretty solid.
It's a lot.
And then we got Shonen Magazine by Kodansha. That is the one that has like Kaguya-sama and stuff like that in it, publishing 515,000 copies. And then we have Shonen Sunday, which publishes actually Shonen Sunday is the one that publishes publishes Komi Can't Communicate, Zatch Bell, Friar Case Closed, stuff like that. And that has 194,000 copies being published. So there's a pretty big gap between like each of those places there, but especially like Shonen Jump is just kind of like dwarfing everything else now, it feels like. Which is interesting when you consider how many of its series are about to like end, like it's big series, you know?
I was about to say, I think that'll probably end relatively soon, mate. Okay, I shouldn't say relatively soon, because relatively is a terrible word to use. But like within the next couple years, probably.
Yeah.
At least within the, I think once because like Black Clover's ending soon. No word on Jujutsu Kaisen, but it feels like we're nearing an end soon-ish.
Yeah. Majority done.
Yeah. My Hero's ending. One Piece. We know there's an ending within the next 5 years. That's just a fact.
Yeah, we'll discuss that a little bit later, actually.
So I'm thinking within the next 5 years, they might unless they can pick something up, because I don't see I do enjoy a lot of the manga they have right now, but I don't see any of them carrying them.
Yeah.
I don't see Boruto being the staple of Shonen Jump anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to diversify a bit. Like
Yeah.
Akane Banashi is doing super well, and like it's getting back-to-back color pages. It's getting a reprint already for its first volume. It's doing very well in Japan, and it's not even leaning into like a romance or supernatural battle shonen aspect. So I think that that kind of bodes bright for the
Yeah.
magazine. They're seeing that they don't have to always do the same thing over and over again just because, like My Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen have been so big. They don't
Hmm.
have to always lean into that battle aspect. Um, I don't know. I hope Akane Banashi is going to be like the first in a series of like different things that we get from the magazine. Like, and maybe Ruri Dragon will be something similar to that as well
Yeah.
with that coming out. Um, whereas Aliens Area is kind of it's them playing it a bit more safe compared to the other two, is what I'll say. Although I don't mind it too much so far in its first chapter. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess honestly, like it's just a lot. There's a lot of momentum behind Weekly Shonen Jump. Obviously, like
Yeah.
it's just it's a powerhouse name in
Oh,
general.
always been. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other magazines, they just don't really have like
The Reckon. Uh,
the recognizability
yeah.
in those heavy hitter series, like Kodansha. They just lost one of their largest
Hmm.
series with Attack on Titan ending last year, right?
Yep.
That was like a big part of them breaking into pretty much like, especially in the Western mindset. Attack on Titan was huge for them to break into the Western market. And
Yeah.
that's a big part of why they, like we said in the last episode, it's a big part of why they're kind of like thinking more about the
Hmm.
Western market is because they saw how
The
popular
success
Attack on
with
Titan
Attack on
was
Titan.
and how it kind of revitalized manga and anime for a lot of Western fans. Uh, yeah, especially whenever you think about like Weekly Shonen Jump is just so quick to axe a lot of their series
They
now.
really.
Like Ayashimon ended last week. We got Protect Me Shugamaru ending in this issue, which I think we all kind of saw
I
that.
saw it
Or
coming, but I think it. I personally still think it had potential.
yeah, I
It
mean
is
it
what it
was either
is.
that or Duran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated Duran.
Like I don't know. What did you think about Protect Me Shugamaru?
I'm trying not to. I'm gonna try not to repeat myself from last week, 2 weeks ago, but it'll be inevitable. I honestly thought it was like. I mean, sure, we had the class. We had the classic of one person's trying to protect the other, um, and I say classic. Yet the only thing that comes to mind is Rosario Vampire, which is a terrible example. But I personally think it had potential because I really like the dynamic between main character's name is slipping my mind, but and Shugamaru. I think Shugamaru was a funny main character because he takes his job of being a bodyguard way too serious, like way too serious. But it turns out he's right 90% of the time. Even though he I think he blows up part of the school at one point. He attacks a teacher and a student. He puts a kid in like the clinic. Like he's not a smart guy, but it's funny. So I
His
think
gut is usually right. Yeah.
yeah, it had potential. I think it's a shame that's ending. That's all.
Yeah. I
It's just
feel
another
like
one of the
they don't give
They don't.
a lot of these series a chance to truly spread their wings, I suppose.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better.
It's kind of interesting whenever you can feel that a mangaka knows that the axe is coming, though, which is what I sort of feel like is the case with Earthchild, because in the story they just said that, oh, we only have 16 days to do this mission. Like they gave it like a hard like timeline of when the series can possibly end for them to do their
Yeah.
goal. Which yeah, to me it feels like the mangaka note. Like he sees the axe leaning like hovering above his neck, I should
He's
say.
trying his best.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know, man. I shouldn't be as hard on Earthchild as I am, but
No, you should.
oh
You
well.
should. After the description you gave me of it, you should.
Fair enough. Speaking of things that I'm trying not to be hard on, Aliens Area started. I know you said you didn't read the first chapter.
I meant to, but I forgot.
It's fine. So I did read the first
Yeah.
chapter. I'll give a quick, basically rundown of the first chapter and how I feel about it. So basically, we have this guy who is a sort of a normal dude living in the city. He has a job. He has a few odd jobs he does, like working at a restaurant and stuff. And one thing he notices is that his hand keeps bothering him. Like it'll like shake and he'll drop stuff at his restaurant job, break a bowl, etc. He's trying to support his siblings essentially, which right off the back, one of the first things I noticed was it's kind of doing like the rare thing that Kaiju number 8 did, where we have like a slightly older protagonist than usual,
Yeah.
which I'm a fan of.
He's
I
just like
that.
me. He's just like me.
Yeah, yeah. Working a menial job, same, bro. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we get introduced to the fact that apparently they're like aliens in the story, obviously, from the name of the story. So he comes home one day and there are aliens in his house talking about how like he has a power that in his hand that they don't think he is worthy to have because he's human. And essentially it gets revealed that he has like stretchy arm powers, not unsimilar to Luffy, more similar to something like Miss Marvel or Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
It's specifically in his arms. And so he uses that to like dispatch them sort of, and then essentially the Men in Black show up and he gets offered a job with them to go and attempt to foster human and alien peace, because essentially aliens use humans as experiments to like test their technology and such on, which is what happened to him during a fire when he was younger, which is why he has the stretchy arm powers.
It makes sense.
And that's where we get introduced to our secondary MC as well, who is the young man with crazy hair we see on the cover. Overall, pretty decent first chapter. I would highly recommend going read it yourself to see how you feel about it. You know, I think it's always important when we get these new series to at least try out the first chapter and see if it's something you're digging, because it can be really hard to go and catch up to with these new series once they get the ball rolling, in my experience. As someone who's trying to catch up with Witch Watch at the moment when it has like 60-something chapters. Yeah.
It sounds like a trip again. Just
yeah, it is pretty trippy. I don't know how I feel about the art style, honestly. It's kind of the art style feels similar to something like Dan to Dan, but not as good at points, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I'm gonna let it rock for a bit, because they haven't been. It's one chapter in, so maybe let the author cook a little bit. Let him get some nice spread out, and maybe by like chapter 10 or something, we'll see where it's going. Because nowadays in Shonen Jump, you gotta get the plot going fast. That's why we see stuff like, Samurai 8 having pages on pages of exposition, because they know that the axe is looming overhead.
The axe makes people act up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame them at all, worst case scenario, you can at least show off your writing chops a little bit before you inevitably get canceled, and maybe other people will want to join you or want you. which
I haven't
actually
thought
kind
about
of
that, but that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, especially because like I don't know if you heard, but Boichi is going to be
I
doing
did hear that.
a webtoon actually, which that's huge to me. It's like artists being able to get out of the magazine grind. I feel which webtoon is another grind in and of
Yeah.
itself. I'm not trying to act like it's like heaven or anything like that, but
It's just nice to see them expand. I guess you could say. Go
yeah.
spread their wings in other directions.
And it's really gonna start showing off how webtoon is becoming a bigger
Yeah.
force in the market as well. Whenever, especially when you have huge things like Tower of God still going, and then Solo Leveling is getting its own anime and stuff like that as well. Webtoons are only going to become bigger and bigger, and only start to become more and more of the market share, in my opinion. So we should. That's a hint that we should definitely start reading some of the popular webtoons and talking about them.
Hey, write that down. Someone write that down.
Yeah, I don't know. I've read a bit of Tower of God. I got to the Hell Train arc for those of you who are in the know, which is pretty decently far in, but it's just a lot. Like it's nearing like One Piece length. I'm pretty sure as far as Tower of
Jesus.
God goes.
I mean, props to them.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool read, honestly, because the author SIU is like a fully self-taught artist, and you really see his art skills grow as the chapters go on. Like, to be completely frank with you, it starts off somewhat mediocre, like and hard to read at points, but once you get to like the second season, it dramatically improves from there, and then it only gets better. And now some of the spoilers that I've clicked on because I'm foolish that I've seen, it's like these are better than most mangaka that are in Weekly Shonen Jump, and this guy's been doing it for like half as long. So I would definitely recommend Tower of God. I mean, it's one of the most popular webtoons up there with like Solo Leveling and that sort of thing for a reason. And it's got big Hunter x Hunter vibes. So if you're a
That's
fan
what
of
I've
Hunter x
heard.
Hunter, you will definitely enjoy. It's like a bit. It's like imagine if Hunter x Hunter had more like random games added to it, because there's a lot of like game design in Tower of God, puzzles and such, which honestly it can take a bit away from it at times whenever they have to explain like the rules of some esoteric game that they're only ever going to play one time. And even then, a lot of the time, the game will get like disrupted in the middle by something. So I don't know. It's got its ups and downs, but I think it's mostly positive. Yeah. As for other news, we got. Did you hear about the new manga coming out, Nine Peaks, by the creator of Clover?
I have not heard about that.
So it's a delinquent. Tell me if you've heard this one before, okay? New delinquent manga about a teenage boy time leaping back 20 years in time after his father suddenly passes away to team up with his teenage dad as a strong delinquent duo aiming for the top.
Now I'm gonna be real honest. That sounds straight original.
Yeah.
That's straight. I cannot think of anything that could be like at all.
I have to appreciate a mangaka with his ear to the ground, hearing people complain about Tokyo Revengers and saying, I think I could do that, but better.
I mean, the market's wide open.
Yeah. I think the first chapter of this actually got released or translated a few days ago, actually, so I'm probably going to check that out after we're done recording. I'll give a quick review of it on the Twitter account after I read it, but
I'll
I've heard
read it
pretty
based
good
on
things.
that.
Clover is a solid manga.
I've heard that, yeah.
Would definitely recommend that if you're into like delinquent type stuff. Yeah. So this is gonna be on my read list, and I'm definitely going to check this out as soon as possible. And then another new series that we had starting that I was really interested in was It's a red light district crime action series called Gokura Kugai.
Go.
It's by Asano Gokura Kugai.
You know that
By,
you did better than I could have ever done.
thank you. By Sano Yuto. It's in a Jump SQ.
Okay.
And it'll be out on July 7th, 2022. It's based on a really popular one shot. It's basically about these two a woman and a man who are troubleshooters in like this sort of Hong Kong, Singapore type of red light district area, doing various odd jobs and getting into hijinks along the way. It's got really strong character design, especially the main girl. If you're into that sort of like Black Lagoon, City Hunter type manga, I think that this is right up your alley. Especially like somebody like Lynn would probably really enjoy this.
I definitely think it's interesting. I might read the first chapter.
Yeah, It's got a one shot that's
yeah.
come out already, so I would definitely recommend that if that sounds like something you would enjoy. I'm gonna be checking it out myself whenever the first chapter comes out, about a month from now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'll check out Jump SQ in general because that is a pretty interesting. Like, I don't know. I feel like we don't get a lot of like grounded crime stuff in the popular shonen magazines and whatnot. Like, there's usually like a supernatural element to it, like a Yashimon or something like that. So I think there might actually be a supernatural element to this as well, or at least a weird element, because I remember looking up a panel and there was like a fox person in the background.
There's always a fox person.
I mean, furries are popular.
Furries.
They're kind of cool.
What do you do?
We all watched Balto growing up. They're kind of cool.
There's a direct connection between that shit and furries. I'm telling you.
Yeah. We got some large news as well. We're getting not just, first of all, Berserk is coming back.
Massive. Absolute.
Massive. Turns out Miura essentially left a manuscript behind with his childhood best friend. Talked a lot about where he wanted the plot to go with this guy, and he talked about it with his like apprentices, assistants, his assistants, stuff like that. And they decided that they wanted to try and finish the story. So they're going to try and finish the current arc out with the next 2 chapters, I believe, and then they're going to start on a new one. So we're going to be getting more Berserk, which is just insane.
Fantastic news. I do wonder if they're going to be able to perfectly, because I've done no research into like who did the most recent chapters, but I wonder if they're going to be able to mimic his art style perfectly or not.
Yeah, he was a generational talent.
Yeah.
I think that's the big question for a lot of people is whether or not the art will be as on point. And, I think nobody is feeling the pressure more than them to recreate that.
I'm sure it'll be great no matter what. I was just curious, whatever they produce, I'll be more than thankful for.
Yeah. I think that this was a decision that they did not come to, lightly at all. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So, if they decided that they think they can give it their best and, do what Miura himself would have wanted, then I'm excited to see where they go with it. And I am definitely going to accelerate my Berserk reading.
Yeah, me too.
I've been waiting to get, the physical, big hardcover books.
Yeah,
is the thing.
That's what I've been doing.
And I can never find the first one.
Really?
The first one is always sold out for me.
Damn, I've got them all the way in the back. They're currently sitting on a shoebox, crushing the shoebox because they're massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got all of them, and I have the new ones up pre-ordered. Yeah, I'm reading off of those. They're very nice to have. Very nice things to have in your collection.
Yeah, I thought about reading it online, but that art is just so fantastic.
Yep, exactly.
I feel like I really want to be able to just look at the spreads, turn them and look at them in close detail instead of having to zoom in on my tiny phone.
Yeah. The only other thing of Berserk I have volume 1, and then I have the most recent volume in Japanese.
I actually
had
do
to buy
have
that.
the first volume on me. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
no.
have that in Fruits
Oh,
Basket Volume 1 currently
I
in my
can't.
book sack.
I don't think it'll focus so well, but I can't remember if I had this last time. I did get some cool Berserk merch recently. Uh,
Nice.
it's like this. I don't think that comes up well, does it? Oh,
No, it
kind of.
actually looks pretty good.
Yeah,
It's like a sort of pressed
yeah,
image of guts. That's
uh,
sick, honestly.
yeah. Then this one's really fragile, but Puck.
Oh, yeah. It's
Uh,
like a nice statue of
yeah,
Puck on a mushroom.
yeah. And then last but not least, Zod.
Of course.
But yeah,
Nice.
no.
Looking like a Monster Hunter monster.
One of my the sites that I frequent had like they have these like statues of Berserk 2 that you can buy, but those are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
So I just got these three.
Berserk statues tend to be pretty expensive in
Yeah,
my experience from what I've seen.
yeah.
But they're always pretty high
Oh,
quality
they
as
always
well.
are.
So, yeah.
Just like the manga.
I it's something I really need to read. Like I've gotten into it before,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
there's so much media to consume at the moment.
there
Is
really
the
is.
issue.
It
Like
becomes a question of like, are you? So for me, what happens to me is I usually just get overwhelmed by all the stuff I start reading that I just stop and like I haven't read much new stuff besides weeklies.
yeah,
Just get
that's kind
overwhelmed
of where I've
reading
been
it.
at too. Like it becomes a question of like time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of the main reason why I haven't bothered going. Like I've gone through like 400 chapters of One Piece, and I'm just like, this is so much. I'm not even halfway through it, you know.
I
And I already know everything that's going on because like I
yeah.
like reading the Discord, and then the timeline spoils it, and like honestly, if you're a manga fan in the West, like a shonen manga fan, I feel like you really can't escape One Piece spoilers. It's very difficult.
No,
For
you
better or
really
for
can't.
worse. Then we also got Land of the Lustrous coming back, which is awesome. I actually am currently catching up with that. I loved the anime. I think it's probably the best use of CGI I've seen in an anime is the Land of the Lustrous anime. The manga is very different. I will say it is kind of jarring to read it in black and white after watching it in like beautiful fleshed out color,
Hmm.
but it's still pretty solid. The art is fantastic, characters are great, and we don't ever know when we're going to be getting more manga or anime out of it. So, might as well read the manga.
Exactly. Manga's always the superior form.
Usually, I think there's a few anime that have surpassed their manga. I've heard Kaguya-sama's anime is better than the manga at the moment. I've heard the manga is kind of spinning its wheels as well, so I don't know. And then we got some updates for the Oricon charts here.
Well, favorite part of the week, 2 weeks I should say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually couldn't find the chart for last week, so I'm just gonna do. I mean, it was a pretty busy week for Oricon this week as
it's been a
well.
busy like month for manga, anime in general.
Yeah.
You can't blame a guy.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. For those of you who maybe are new to the show, Oricon is essentially a magazine slash charting company that keeps track of what is selling
Hmm.
in Japan and kind of Eastern Asia in general. So it keeps track of like your K-pop charts, your general music sales, DVD sales, as well as manga sales, which we cover here. So it measures all of the individual volumes sold for each series. If you wanted to figure out the individual volumes that are selling well, you'd want to check the Shoseki weekly or daily rankings. If you have interest in us wanting to do that, by the way, let us know on the Twitter or perhaps in the Discord. I would be happy to do it. It's just
Hmm.
it's obviously a lot to keep track
Yeah,
of the daily ones. So, starting at number 10 on the Oricon charts, we got Blue Lock selling 48,134 copies. Honestly, pretty much to be expected. We got the manga, or the anime rather, is going to, I believe, have its first episode or the first previews of it are going to premiere next month in France, actually, which is fun. Just goes to show you how big of a market France is once again. They get, with them getting like the first preview of a huge new property, basically. Number 9, we got Sakamoto Days, selling 48,528 copies.
Love to see it.
You love to see it. Truly love to see it. My Hero Academia coming in at number 8 with 49,049 copies.
I mean,
palindrome. Actually, not a palindrome, but kind of close.
Kind of close.
Yeah.
You love to see My Hero drop. I'm sorry. I just don't like My Hero fans.
No, I mean, I get you.
Yeah. It's a great manga, but...
More people probably buying the most recent volume, I would assume. It'll probably be there in the bottom half again in the next time we do this segment as well. Then we have a new series out called Kubo Ubuki Great Game at number 7, selling 53,093. Let me go ahead and Google this right quick. This is a like military ship manga, it appears. The year 20YX. Global warming is causing sea ice to decrease in the Arctic Ocean. The maritime self-defense force destroyer Shiranui, on which Kaburaki, a candidate to become the next captain of the Ibuki, is dispatched to conduct research. Suddenly, a civilian research vessel is attacked by someone. The Shiranui quickly uses its weapons to protect the civilian ship, but who attacked it? What was the reason for the attack? So, associated names, aircraft carrier, Ibuki, great game. So it's...
That's,
It's actually something that's ended, which is interesting.
Interesting.
A live-action adaptation premiered in Japan in May 2019. I think there's like a sequel. Okay. Yeah, so it's in Big Comic. There's a sequel coming out as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
So that's cool. We got a kind of an older, more niche title popping up, which is interesting. I wonder if maybe there was like an anniversary of it or something like that.
Makes sense.
At number 6, we got one of my favorites personally, Golden Kamui, coming in with 54,687 copies.
You do love to see that.
Riding high off of its it's got a new volume coming out soon, and then it'll have one more volume after the next volume, so it's got 2 more volumes dropping. So we can expect to see this on the charts. Not for the foreseeable future necessarily, but we can expect to see it cropping back up again in the near future whenever those 2 volumes drop as well. At number 5, we got something we're used to seeing on these charts. We got Jujutsu Kaisen with 68,476 copies sold. No surprise there. This is something that it's always on the charts to some degree. At number 4, we got another mainstay. We got Tokyo Revengers selling 69,067 copies. We were so close. We were so close to 60. We just needed two.
That's the most tragic thing I've seen.
We needed 2 more people.
Who couldn't just chill out?
Cowards.
Fuck you.
If you're in Japan listening to this and you thought you saw a copy of Tokyo Revengers,
didn't buy it,
you're like,
or if you were there,
this is some mid now. I'm not gonna buy it. Boo!
Fuck
boo
you!
You could have made the difference. See, this illustrates an issue with democracy.
This is a greater issue right now. Okay, you couldn't just buy. Even if you bought a copy, you couldn't buy another one. Couldn't give it to your grandma.
Yeah.
Fuck
Grandmas
you.
love Tokyo Revengers. Grandmas love Dracula.
It's a known fact that Tokyo Revengers is #1 in the elderly demographic. Known fact.
Exactly. Then, at number 3, we got a bit of a leap here. We got One Punch Man coming in with 119,928 copies sold.
Love to see that.
You love to see that.
Love
truly.
to see that.
Another thing I'm catching up with right now. I've heard it is in. I've heard it's just having some great moments at the moment. I've been narrowly dodging spoilers like the fucking Matrix while catching up. I'm pretty close though. Thankfully, it gets to release whenever Murata decides he wants to release. So, yeah, we got a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Then at number 2, we got Aoashi, another soccer manga doing pretty well. Its anime was recently announced to be 2-core. Its anime is doing very well at the moment. It's definitely something I've seen a lot of buzz going around about, which is nice because whenever it started, I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it, but it seems like the anime is really hitting its stride, which is going to, of course, give that manga a lot of a boost, which is, speaking of anime giving manga a boost, I think we all know what our number 1 is here.
Number 1, Fullmetal Alchemist.
For the 8th week in a row, we got Spy Family coming in at number 1 with another large jump, doing over 150,000 more than the next, with 337,917 copies sold. My God, I thought it was gonna start slowing down, but I was wrong. It's just gonna be like this forever.
Yeah.
But I was actually surprised to learn that Jujutsu Kaisen is still the most sold manga of the year at the moment.
That is very shocking.
Surely Spy Family can't be that far behind, right?
It can't be. It's got past it soon. I mean, they got 6 months.
By the end of the year, it will be the most sold. Like 100%, especially because JJK isn't going to be dropping this year, almost certainly. We would have gotten some news about it by now, I'm sure, if it was dropping. And I'm sure MAPPA is doing... Well, they're doing a fuck ton of stuff at the moment, so they don't want to utilize themselves too much as well. So, yeah, I fully expect Spy Family to be the most sold manga this year. And all I gotta say about the charts that have been coming out recently is Demon Slayer who? Like...
Who?
We haven't seen Demon Slayer pop up in a minute, I feel like, and it's just it dominated so much the past 2 years that it's really kind of odd to see it not popping up quite as much.
Fuck Demon Slayer. Not popular with grandmas.
That's not necessarily the opinion of this podcast. That's a parf.
No, I actually really did enjoy Demon Slayer. It's the first manga I ever got the entirety of. So It holds a special place in my heart.
I really like the Demon Slayer manga a lot. Some people don't like it compared to the anime, but I like the art style quite a bit. It's very unique.
Yeah.
We also got a new One Piece movie poster. Did you see that?
I did. And I also saw the trailer. And I have thoughts.
Okay. Share with your thoughts with us. Let's have Parf's One Piece corner for a sec.
First off, they're just using Shanks, the snitch, as a fucking promotional. He's gonna be in this movie for maybe 15 seconds. Maybe. Alright? They're gonna show up.
He's gonna double his screen time in the past couple years.
He's gonna show up after, like, Luffy's done all the shit. He's gonna be like, oh, what's up, Luffy? Oh, that's my daughter that I abandoned? Cool. We gotta go. Like, I'm also a little, like, confused about it because, so we obviously, I gotta stop saying obviously, I use it too much. We have Jinbei in there, which he didn't formally join the crew till the beginning of Wano. Well, the beginning of the final part of Wano. Yeah, and it's supposed to take place after Wano. Quick One Piece spoilers for anybody listening. So we now know
if you want to avoid One Piece spoilers, maybe skip about a minute ahead.
So we now know Yamato's joined the crew, right?
That's confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yamato is not in the movie, at least from what we know. So that doesn't really
Dang.
add up, obviously.
That's kind of weird.
I couldn't give, like, I do, I can't remember, someone said the voice actress for, Uda, Shank's daughter, is also a singer, so that's really cool. But, I could not give two fucks about Uda. Like, it's cool and all, and I'm gonna watch the movie, but, like, how is Shanks gonna have a daughter this whole time? And, like, at no point, Luffy's like, oh, by the way, Shanks has a daughter. To anybody. Nobody?
Well, why would Luffy know?
He so that's the thing. They revealed in the most recent trailer that he met her
Oh,
when he met
okay.
Shanks.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah. It's just like,
That's a lot. I don't see why they would do that, but fine.
yeah.
So he's.
I do think the new
Is he-
designs for Shanks' crew are sick, though.
Yeah, I saw that too. I enjoy them. Did you? So, does he like recognize her off the bat?
Yeah,
Do we
they
know
both
that?
recognize each
Okay.
other right away. In the trailer, he's like, I was about to do a Luffy impression. It would have been so bad. Not doing that. But he, like, yells out, Uda. And, like, she's like, oh, Luffy. So, like, they know each other. They know each other. I just...
Do we know what the So do we know what the conflict is yet?
No, some people are assuming it's going to be...
saw-
her. After
I've
you.
heard Davy backfight as a
Yeah.
theory because of the posters and whatnot.
Yeah, I've
Which kinda
heard
makes sense to
that.
me.
I've heard it's gonna be her. It could be anything at this point. For all we know, it's Shanks. Maybe that's his 15 seconds. He's the bad guy now.
I mean,
I'm still gonna watch it.
I've heard a lot of people say he's been the bad guy for a bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably go peep it too. It
Yeah.
comes out, I think, the day after my birthday? Either the day of or the day after.
All I remember that's August. I want to say.
It's either August 5th or 6th, but I kind of want to go peep that because there is a theater around me that does like anime screenings and stuff.
I'm definitely gonna peep that since I missed out on fucking.
Well, it won't be here, and
Jujutsu
it won't be
Kaisen.
in the
Yeah,
United
yeah,
States on August 6th, obviously, but
Yeah.
I'll go peep it whenever it comes out because I've heard that the One Piece movies
They always have great production.
they're pretty fun, even if you don't like keep up, like even if they're not canon necessarily.
Yeah.
Which this one we're not sure, obviously.
It probably won't be, but we'll see.
Yeah. And then we also got Oshinoko is getting an anime, which is sick. I don't know if you saw the studio behind it. It's kind of raises a bit of a red flag
I did.
for some people.
I did.
It's I believe they're called. It's like Dope. Let me look it up real quick. It's the same people who did Umaru-chan.
Yeah. Which.
They are. Oh my God, Google, you are no help. It is Doga Kobo. They've done Umaru-chan as well as Plastic Memories, New Game, all the stuff related to like New Game, how heavy are the dumbbells you lift.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, it's really not giving me a lot of hope is the issue. Which is sad because this deserves like the best adaptation it can get.
I fully agree. It deserves the moon and back.
I just don't understand how they couldn't get like Cloverworks or something to do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta hold out hope because like big studios will always make bad mistakes, and small studios will always surprise you.
I suppose. I don't know. I'm cautiously pessimistic
Yeah.
about it, is what I'm going to say. We also got apparently leaks of a new Trigun anime have been going around by a pretty reliable leaker, which is pretty exciting. Are you a fan of Trigun at all?
No, but I might get into it now. I almost
Honestly,
got into it a while back, but didn't.
I think watching the original manga is worth it because even though it's pretty, or reading
Anime.
the original manga,
Oh,
watching and as well as watching the original anime,
both.
because although the anime differs from the manga, it's still a pretty solid production up to a certain point, and it's just an all-time classic.
Yeah, that's what I've
Anime,
heard.
honestly. It was a lot of people's introduction, like a lot of people in the West introduction to anime. I know Lynn is a big fan
Mhm.
of Trigun as well. I actually wanted to have him on here so he could be the one discussing this, but
He
he
didn't
had some
show.
other engagements, unfortunately. It is what it is.
Our take
I'm
is
pretty
it's
excited for
cool.
this.
We'll watch it.
Yeah, I've done a watch through of Trigun somewhat recently actually, and honestly, it holds up pretty solidly. I feel like
Okay.
even the dub, which is pretty, it's somewhat rare for
I
anime
find
from back then. So
older dubs usually hold up.
yeah, they hold up in a way where I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as harsh on them as the newer ones
Yeah,
because like
maybe.
stuff like the sound design in general can be a bit rougher, so it doesn't clash
I
as
th-
much.
I
If that
think
makes
part of it
sense.
is like some of the older dubs. Those were like the first things we saw of them. Like I first time I ever watched DBZ or Naruto or Vandred, only heard the English dubs. So I that's like my first impression, and I like them up because I watched them. But like when it comes to Attack on Titan, I see the Japanese first. When I listen to the English dub, I'm like, that's just not my Aaron. It's not my
Yeah.
Levi. You know, it's just like I think that's what it's like for me at least.
I liked the part four JoJo's dub
I haven't
bit,
listened to a
honestly.
dub. Ever
I
since
didn't
part
mu-
one's dub, I haven't listened to any JoJo dub.
That's fair, honestly. I don't the only thing I don't really like is like Matt Mercer's Jotaro, which I don't mind Matt Mercer in general. It's just I think for Jotaro he's like a little bit bland, which I
Hmm.
know Jotaro and bland kind of go together in like parts 3 and 4, but I don't know. Everybody else was pretty on point, especially like I liked Rohan's voice actor a lot, and Koichi wasn't bad either. So, yeah, I don't know. Might be interested in checking out some more
Mm,
of the JoJo's dubs that aren't part 1 or 3 at some point. Honestly,
I agree. I agree.
yeah. And then for our last little bit of news, we got apparently One Piece is entering its final arc slash
Yeah.
saga. Can you care to explain this for the listeners at home who might
Yeah.
not know what I mean by arc slash saga?
So I'll be fully honest. I don't know it entirely well. Uh, but basically, we're just ending the last part of One Piece. But that doesn't mean it's gonna be short. Like I said earlier, we got 5 years left. You know.
Yeah, a saga is essentially
Yeah.
can be like multiple
Yeah.
arcs,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
I'm trying. Someone I can't remember who told me it was like roughly 500, 200 somewhere from 200 to 500 chapters left. So like, we still got a long way. It's
Yeah.
not ending anytime soon. But yeah, it's still exciting that we're in the final saga because I think Luffy finally has his crew. I don't see anybody else joining.
You don't
I
think
could be
Carrot will
wrong.
join?
I always thought Carrot would join, yet um, I read the most recent chapter and I still have it pulled up because I was reading it before we started. Uh, I don't see Carrot. She's not really a main focus, if you will, in the recent chapter. She's just kind of in the background. So her joining, I just don't see it. I could be wrong. Um,
See, I know a few people in the Discord are pretty big on Carrot joining.
yeah, I was too for a while.
I feel like past a certain point, you get so many people in the Straw Hats, and it's like you already have most of not most of them. You already have a lot of them who don't get as much screen time as like the
Yeah.
big three anyway.
Yeah.
Like, how long did Robin go without a fight? Like,
True. So true. So fucking true. Um, it's. I think maybe we might see Vivi rejoin the crew. I don't think her part is done entirely, but I'm not seeing any new crewmates join.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I would like for the. It'd be nice if like the stakes would kind of start ratcheting
Yeah,
up a bit. Obviously, Wano was pretty high stakes
it
compared
was.
to a lot of the other stuff with
Mm.
like, you know, a Gundam style colony drop about to happen on people and shit. But I don't
It
know. Some more personal stakes with the Straw Hats would be
yeah,
nice.
I think that's what we're gonna see coming up because we haven't heard from Sabo and there's a lot of theories about what Sabo's up to. Some people think he's been captured. We're gonna get a Marine Ford Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Some people think we're headed to Elbaf next, which is the land of the giants, which would be cool. There's a lot of ways it could go. I don't know which way is the right way. Uh,
Gotta let Oda cook, really.
yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
I think my only thing is, and this is just me personally, I kind of wish Luffy's crew was a lot more like Roger's crew, but I understand why it's not because Roger was like, Roger was a middle-aged dude heading out there doing this. Luffy's like, I think 19 now, 18 or something. So like, there's a big difference between these two, and
What do you mean by like more like Roger's crew?
um, so Roger's crew was a little bit bigger. He had he had a very diverse crew. He had a giant. He had a fishman. I mean, Luffy does have a fishman now. I think he had someone from Skypiea. I could be wrong though. I can't remember what the Skypeans are named. It could just be Skypeans. But like that's what I mean. Just a little bit more of a diverse crew. But his crew is fine enough as it is. That's just. I was wondering where we could go with that. I guess if we could see.
I
more.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, Roger
Yeah.
was like middle aged.
He had a bit more. Well,
Yeah.
Luffy's got a lot of clout going on.
No,
too,
for
but,
sure.
Yeah. I think whenever you kind of count like the Straw Hat fleet and stuff like that, it adds a bit more diversity to it when you think about that.
Yeah.
But as far as like the main crew goes,
I
I
love the
definitely
fleet, by the
agree
way.
that. I definitely agree with you that as far as the main crew goes, it is kind of like plain people
Mhm.
in a way, you know. Besides for obviously like outliers like, you know, Brook and
Jinbei.
Jinbei, kind of Chopper, I suppose. But like Brook, Jinbei, and Frankie would probably be the big
Yeah.
three outliers, I would say.
Yamato
And
now
now-
too.
Yeah, Yamato being a giant woman as well now, so
Which before
Yeah.
anybody comes up for us, it's her. This has been a big thing in the One Piece community. Her gender is confirmed by Oda to be woman. It's in her Viver card. Just so everybody knows.
yeah, I've heard some discussion about that. I think in the past it was a bit more
Yeah.
up for discussion, but now obviously
With the Viver
it's-
card being out, it's. And don't get me wrong, One Piece does a lot of more LGBT, pan, queer characters a lot well.
there would be
Bonplay.
nothing, and there would be nothing wrong with her.
Yeah,
being
yeah.
Queer
Nothing
or
wrong.
anything like that. Period. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're just saying that we're just using what Oda has given us. That's all.
for sure. And you know what? If you are somebody who prefers to use different pronouns for Yamato, that's cool too.
Yeah.
It honestly does not make a difference to me
Yeah.
what pronouns people use for a fictional character. It's fine. As long as you respect other people in real life's pronouns, does not make a difference to me.
Yeah.
So with that, happy Pride Month, by the way. Guys.
Yeah,
With
happy
that
Pride
little
Month,
rant out of the way. And then I think with that, we got most of our news out of the way. We can kind of move on to our table contents for the week for the weekly Shonen Jump. So I'm looking this up on Jajonkin.net. It is a really cool website that tracks Weekly Shonen Jump specifically, as well as tracking like the historical rankings of every manga, like basically the most popular manga in Shonen Jump by year and stuff. Spoiler alert: One Piece has been owning the chart. Like it's been the most top in number one every single year since like 2006. And even before then, it was also very popular. In fact, it's pretty much been owning the chart since like 1998, looking at it. So, That's pretty funny. But as for what we got going on here, I will now read out what we got for our table of contents for chapter or issue 27 of 2022. So at number 1, we got One Piece. At number 2, we got Jujutsu Kaisen. At number 3, we got My Hero Academia. At number 4, we got Sakamoto Days. At number 5, we got Akane Banashi. At number 6, we got Blue Box. At number 7, we got Me and Roboco, followed by Witch Watch. And then at number 9, we got The Elusive Samurai. At number 10, we have Black Clover. At number 11, we've got Mission, Yozakura Family. At number 12, we've got Mashal, Magic and Muscles. At number 13, we've got High School Family. At number 14, we've got P. At number 15, we've got Earth Child. At number 16, we've got Undead Unluck. At number 17, we've got Duraron. At number 18, we've got Protect Me Shugamaru, which is ending this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we got new serializations for Super Smartphone and Aliens Area as well, with Aliens Area taking the lead color page in this chapter, and Akane Banashi and High School Family both getting color pages as well. Sorry, Blue Box is also getting a color page as well. Damn, so Undead Unluck not doing so hot.
Yeah, no, the Reddit for Undead Unluck is actually really worried about it. Which I don't get.
I don't think they're going to axe it this far in.
I don't think they are either because it's like it's ramping up in its manga, so I don't really know why it's so low. Maybe people just don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Ow.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I felt like we've talked about this like the past 2 episodes actually, where we've felt like Undead Unluck was like doing pretty well, and it's kind of come out of nowhere. I don't know. It doesn't bode well for an anime announcement.
No,
at this
it doesn't.
Point, honestly, either.
I think it would make such a good anime, and I don't see it coming.
Really sad, actually.
It very much so is, yeah.
What do you think would kind of help to steer it out of this?
I truly couldn't tell you because I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm reading it. I enjoy it plenty. From what I hear on the subreddit, people enjoy the current arc it's in. More readers.
Yeah.
That's...
fair enough.
I don't know what's wrong with it.
Also, I actually misread that. So that was the averages that I was reading right there. The actual table of contents. I'll just quickly go through this. So we got Aliens Area starting off, One Piece at number 1, followed by My Hero Academia, then Sakamoto Days, then Mission, Yozakura Family, then Akane Banashi, Elusive Samurai at 7, Super Smartphone at 8, High School Family at 9, Witch Watch at 10, Mashal at 11, P6 at 12, Me and Roboco at 13, Blue Box at 14, Undead Unluck at 15, Earthchild at 16, Duraron at 17, a one-shot called Ijosha at 18, and then Protect Me Shugamaru ending at 19 as with its final chapter, chapter 26. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, not much of a change there overall, honestly. We've got Undead Unluck doing slightly better. It's not in the bottom 3 like we had originally thought, but it is, however...
It is still...
Just barely avoiding that bottom 3. Just barely... It's skimming. It's skimming the surface right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, like... I don't know, man. I want it to do better. They're going to have to pull some Sully Sullenberger shit to get out of this nosedive they're in. I think I'm going to go ahead and try and... Because I'm actually pretty close to catching up with Undead Unluck. Like, I'm over halfway done with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and catch up with that, I feel like, and hopefully I'll be able to give a better opinion about it and why I think it's not doing so hot, because, like we said, you and I are both fans of the series, and we just want to see it do well.
Yeah. I hope to see an anime one day.
Right. So I think we're gonna go ahead and go into our recommendations for non-manga, or we'll do our manga recommendations
Yeah.
first, and then our non-manga recommendations for the week. And you can go ahead and start us off if you want, Parv.
All right, going back to the shelf real quick. You know what? Undead Unluck. We just said it needs more readers. Undead Unluck. It's a great
Yeah.
manga. I personally think it would make a great anime. If you're into, I don't know how to describe it really. Maybe I'm just blanking right now, but I could not really think of the words to describe it. Like what to. I
It's
think
pretty unique. I think it's
yeah.
a decent romance overall.
It is a very decent romance, and I think the power
I
system
like
in
the
it is
power
really cool.
system. Yeah, I enjoy it
If
as
you're a
well.
fan of good power systems, you will like Undead Unluck. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like the like quest system they
Yep.
have in it as well.
I love
They
that.
take
Yeah.
like RPG style
Mhm.
quests from this like gross living book creature
Yeah. Fuck that
to
book though.
prevent the apocalypse. Yeah, it's kind of like a Cube sort of being,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Um, nice. So Undead Unluck as your recommendation.
Yep.
I think for my manga recommendation for this week, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend. I'm gonna say, honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend people read Land. Go ahead and read Land of the Lustrous if you haven't. It is so solid. It's like a better version of Steven Universe if you've ever watched that sort
Okay.
of show. Uh, you got rock people doing like incredible fight scenes and stuff like that. You've got one of the better MCs I've ever read in a shonen slash seinen magazine, in my opinion. And it's coming back after like a 2 year long hiatus or something, so it's the perfect time to
Yeah.
catch up on it. Highly recommend it. Watch the anime too; it's good.
Mhm.
And then for our non-manga recommendations, what do you have for us, Park?
For our non-manga recommendations, I already talked about it, but I think Better Call Saul, great show.
Oh yeah,
I've been enjoying it. I think I'm only on episode 6, but thoroughly enjoying it. It's not. It's kind of like Breaking Bad, in which you get a bunch of different stories coming together, but it's not quite the same. I think it's more. Saul, you're seeing Saul before he becomes a dirt rat lawyer, where he actually has
Yeah.
some honesty
some
to himself.
morality left
Yeah,
in him. Yeah,
exactly. So I think
That's
it's a
cool.
great watch. Yeah.
Nice. I think my recommendation, I'm going to say that people should go and read Invincible.
I like that.
I've been rereading Invincible again. I pretty much binge read it very quickly after the like first season
Mhm.
came out because wow, I mean that last episode really stuck with me and I wanted to know what was happening so bad. And I binge read through it and I enjoyed it pretty well enough. There are some aspects of it I think that have not aged very well personally. And I don't think that my mind will change on this reread about them either. So, kind of a warning that it's got some 2000s sensibilities going on. A lot of like random gay jokes and stuff like that.
It happens.
Yeah. So, but I think that overall the characters are pretty well written. Specifically, Mark and Omni Man. Mark just kind of makes you like put your hand in your face in your palms all the time, like just face palm. Like, what are you doing, dude? Making friends with a dinosaur terrorist.
Dude, that's just your usual weekend.
But it's got some truly fantastic art, truly good character writing from Robert Kirkman, who is overall probably one of the more iconic comic writers in the mainstream for the 2000s, I would say. So, yeah, go and read that, honestly, while I figure out more comics that I want to read. And drop some comic suggestions for me on Twitter or in the Discord or something, because I really need to branch my, like, kind of spread my wings a bit and branch out there to mix my metaphors even worse than I did before. So again, our non-manga recommendations are gonna be Invincible, and then what was yours again?
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and that's something that I need to catch up on too, because I believe we have a short break until the second half of this season that they have comes out, and it was left accidentally on a cliffhanger too, from my understanding, which is always fun.
Oh.
And I think that is going to go ahead and do it for the Manga Melee podcast this week, guys. Thank you for joining us again.
Of course.
Really huge week. Glad we could share that with you guys. And honestly, it's been a big year for manga, and I'm super excited to cover it for the rest of the year with you guys.
It's going to be exciting next year.
Trying to get some more guests on the pod. Hopefully, we'll have somebody next time. Somebody new, actually. I've been in the DMs talking with somebody, trying to figure scheduling stuff out.
Okay.
So we might have an announcement for the pod coming out at a different time next week to accommodate, but hopefully we won't have to. Again, we'll have updates for that for you on the Twitter. You can find us at Manga Melee Pod on Twitter. You can follow me at Shardbased on all platforms. And you can not follow Parf because he does not want to be perceived.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, that's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace.